Well, my friends, now that we have all we need to control the widget, as all data is saved in the WP options table, we can start displaying the widget in the front end. Let's start here in the widget method. The purpose of this method is to display the HTML content of the widget on the front end. As I have already explained, this method accepts two parameters. First is args, an array containing the HTML markup that wraps the widget's title and the widget itself. Other additional information exists, such as the ID, the widget's name, etc. In case you are curious, at any time you can do a var dump on this variable and see everything it contains, okay? And the second parameter is the instance of the widget that should be displayed on the screen in a certain widget area in the front end. First, let's start by passing some default values to the front end. These values will be very useful to make some information visible on the screen, or in case the user leaves some field empty, it will help us make sure that no settings are invalid. For example, if the user just drag and drop the widget in the admin and don't configure anything at all, WordPress may not know what the widget's title is and how many testimonials should be shown. It also won't know if it should display the image, the occupation, and the company name or not. So our widget should indicate what is the default value for these fields. So even if the user simply drags the widget to the desired location, WordPress will know what needs to be displayed, right? So let's start with the title. We're going to create a variable here called default title. And we're going to pass the value as a string, like so. Next, let's set the title value. Let's pass it like this. That means if the value of the title that's in the database is not empty, then the title variable gets this value here. Otherwise, it gets the value that's set in default title, alright? Now for the number of testimonials, let's do this. It's almost the same thing we did up here for the title. Now for the image, I will pass it like this. If there's a value for the image field in database, we'll take that value. Otherwise, the value will be false. And I can do the same for both the occupation and the company name fields. Okay, now we can start to assemble the puzzle with each little piece of the widget. The first thing we need is the div that wraps the whole widget. This wrapper comes from the widget area settings. As you know, this data is inside the args array. So I can call the opening tag like this. I can already close it down here using after widget, like this. And now inside this thing here, I have the general title of the widget. I can pass it like this using before title and after title. Pretty simple. And after the title, inside the HTML tags that involve the widget, I'll have the content that I'll be explaining in the next lesson. So saving this, let's go to the front end and see how it looks like for now. To do this test, I'm gonna reload this admin page. I'm gonna delete what I did in the previous lesson. And here I'm gonna drag the widget, except it won't have any configuration. I'm gonna open a new page in the front end. Here in the footer widget area, I have the title, which is that default widget title. And inspecting this. So look at this. I have the HTML tags that involve the widget, which are inherited, if you will, from the widget area configuration of the specific theme. And in here, I got an H2, which also comes from the theme's configuration. So now all that's missing is what actually goes into the widget. We'll be creating a loop that will be able to load the testimonials right here according to the widget settings. But you'll see all that in the next lesson. Until then, folks.